Hi, I'm Laura and welcome to my channel. I'm sharing with you today a technique that I've come up with to lift my aging eyes using eyeshadow. Now, I call it the triangle method because the way I'll be applying the shadow is in the shape of a triangle. I deal with many of the issues that you all that watch are dealing with, sagging skin, crepiness. So I have had to change the way that I apply eyeshadow since I would say I hit my early 50s. I'm 55 right now, and this technique has really helped to lift and make my eyes look much younger. Before I start applying any eyeshadow, I have to use a primer. My eyes just drink the shadow in. I like this one from Catrice. I'm using the matte. It also comes in a pearl, and I just put some right on the lid and pat it in. What I like about this primer over others, I had to stop using Milani and a few others that I tried because they were just too thick and they would make the eyeshadow crease and make my fine lines in my eyes more pronounced. So I've found that using this one gives me the longevity of the shadows and a very nice look. Today I'll be using for the shadows this Gimme Gold palette from Flower Beauty. Now, at first glance, this doesn't look like a very good palette for a mature woman like me. There's a lot of shimmer, but what I like about all of her shadows is the shimmer is super fine. It's not like others I've used in other brands I've tried. Also, there are mattes in here. There's a mid-tone, there's a deeper shade, and an even deeper shade for lining the eyes. So the three basics that I really feel I need for the look are here. Now I'm going to go into this sort of mid-tone here, and I'm using all fluffy brushes. I found as a mature woman, I can't use these very compact brushes for packing on products like the young YouTubers do. They will just pack, load it on the lid. That doesn't work because there's just so much creasing, and especially if you're in your 60s or 70s, you tend to get more sagging crepiness in the inner corner. That's another thing that I do differently. I'm not going to put any shimmer there, and you'll see that when I get to that part. But what I do is start on the lid, lightly going back and forth, sort of just dusting or like I'm doing watercolor paint on the lid. So I'm going to start with a product there so I don't get a huge amount in the triangle portion. And what I'm doing is forming a triangle here. I'm going to bring the shadow right up under my brow. I want it even with the center of my eye. That's going to be the high point. So I'm just going to put a little dot here so you can see where I'm working. And then the outer corner is not going to be here. It's going to be out a little bit right on the bone. Right here, and then the inner corner, I am going to start on the inner corner of my eye here and go up this way. So I'm going to just sort of draw in the triangle so you can see where I'm going with this. Now that I have some product here, I'm going to start blending. And when you're blending, I want you to think of like you're erasing something on a piece of paper, but very lightly. I don't really like using windshield wiper movement. I feel that moves my skin back and forth so much. And so I like to do it in little bits like I'm just erasing on paper. We're all familiar with how that works. So I'm just going up here. And again, I want you to think you're contouring your eye. You're wanting to make your eye look larger. Don't think so much about the pretty eye look. I think more of what do I need to do to give my eye a beautiful shape. So I'm going up here, and again, I'm just sort of gonna do my little light, or you can think of it like you're tickling yourself with a feather. And I'm just blending this out. Now this shade alone would be a beautiful eye look. It's just a wash of color, and I'll show you what I'm going to do right under the brow. That's so simple. Now, sometimes I will take my finger and sort of lift my eye a little bit because of the skin not being so taut. And that's another thing that helps as you're blending your shadows. And then this brush that I'm using right now is a small blending brush. I also go in with this large blender. It's sort of like when you use a large brush on your face to buff out things. This just even buffs the lines more. And I like to use this along the line where it's meeting my skin so that you don't see a line of shadow. So I'm going to just go here and buff around the edges. I want to add a little more contour to my eye. Right now it's just a nice wash of color. This would be pretty for work. I could just put my eyeliner and mascara and go out the door, but I want to give a little more drama to it and show you what I do when I take it up a notch. So I'm going in with this deeper shade. So really you need like a mid-tone and a deeper shade of brown. You probably already have that in your collection. This video is more about eye techniques to help you to get a more lifted look. So I'm going in just on the outer corner here. Now that's a lot of product already, so I'm going to buff off my brush and start blending here. Now I'm not going to take this at all into the inner corner. I like just leaving that lighter shade there. We don't want the eyes to look too close set together, so I like the lighter shade there, and then I just keep the darker shade on the outer portion of the eye. Now what I do next is I buff the outside a little bit more, and then I do bring a tiny bit of it down into the inner corner just so that it melds everything together. So I'll go up here and then bring it down here. I really feel I have plenty of color on the lid, but I do want to blend this out a little bit and then bring it up. And I just keep following that triangle format, going up and down, back and forth to get a very blended out watercolor type appearance. Now I'm deepening this outer corner here, and I'm going to bring a little bit into just the corner of my eye. Not too far though, just so that it looks like it's going together and I don't have just a line of color there. And then lightly bring it up. Once I feel it's pretty blended, I will bring it up a little higher into the triangle. Now what I love to do to add a little glow to this look is to go into this beautiful gold here. And I just take my finger and rub over it. Look at the gold that this produces. It's absolutely stunning. And I only apply it right here in the middle, because if you get in too far in, like I said earlier, that gets into crepier skin. So I'm just going to lightly pat right here. And already that adds a lot of interest. And then I'm going to take that fluffy brush, the large fluffy, and just lightly buff the edges. Again, I don't want to bring it into the inner corner. I don't mind getting some of it into the outer corner. I can always go back and deepen that if I like, but I definitely stay away from the inner corner. Now, as a mature woman, I do not want shimmer under the brow like so many younger women use. What I love to do is use my Flower Concealer under the eyebrow to brighten and lift the eye, but no shimmer at all. Now, what I love about this is my favorite concealer, I think, of all time, is this is so thin. I've never been able to use much concealer under the brow because even there it makes the skin look blotchy, or you can see just the crepiness of the skin. So what I do, you could use a tiny brush. I like this Sigma Precision brush, and I dip into it on my hand, and all up here where I do not have any shadow, I'm going to put the concealer. Look at already how much brighter it is under my brow. And I'm going to bring this down here onto the bridge of my nose, actually, to brighten up this area and bring it down below the eye. And then what I'll do in a minute is take my brush that I was using, my eyeshadow brush, and blend it all together. And you can even take your finger and sort of pat the product in. This concealer is so thin, which is why this works. If you try it with a heavy concealer, it doesn't work. I've tried it with so many other concealers that it just wasn't working for me. And again, you don't want to mess up your triangle shape. So as I'm coming in, I'm going to keep that triangle shape going. When I'm all done with the eye look, I'll go back with some more concealer and this brush and sort of come up like this to lift the eye again, but we'll do that at the very end. The next thing I do is go in with my liner, and I love this one from LA Girl. It's so inexpensive, it lasts for hours. It's their Ultimate Eye, and it's automatic. I hate sharpening pencils. I just do. I love automatic things. So I actually don't like starting on my inner or outer corner because I feel like I put too much product at first. I like to start it. So I start in the center of the eye, and I'm just going to be rubbing it along the lash line, and then I'll do little dashes almost to the inner corner and then the outer corner. I like to do a little feline flick. So I take the you can see I've started it here. I go right to the edge of my eye and just do a little flick with a pencil. And then you can even take your fingernail and just drag the product a little bit to bring it up higher. I've been using this Milani. It's called the Violet one. It's a primer for your lashes to make them look darker. And my lashes are a brown shade. They really don't stand out much. So I am enjoying this. And I've also been trying the Warrior Princess Mascara from Flower Beauty. A couple of my subscribers asked if I would try it out. I'm really enjoying it. The brush has an hourglass shape like some other brands have come out with. And I do feel the Milani makes a difference. It does make my lashes look darker and helps them to stand out more. Now, another trick I have for lifting the eye is put the majority of your mascara in the center of your eye. People always think put it on the outside, but I think that actually makes the eye look droopy when there's too much on the outer corner. So I will put a light coat on all my lashes and then put more right in the center. Now, I didn't curl my lashes today, but I will often do that. I have a heated curler that I use. I bought off Amazon. It's a Panasonic. That's worked well I've had it maybe 3 years. But you can go ahead and curl your lashes. I just wanted you to see what the look would look like if you weren't a person that usually curls your lashes, because a lot of people don't. So this is the look I do if I'm tired and want a more lifted look, and I've been very tired lately because I'm preparing for Dorian. The hurricane is headed straight for us. Matthew hit us a couple of years ago and caused extreme flooding in our area, and we lost electricity for over a week. So if you don't hear back from me, that's why our area has probably been hit by this hurricane. Now, listed below, I have the winners for the Flower Beauty lipstick that is the dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. Congratulations to the winners. I'll get those out as soon as I can, but I have one more Color Science product that's amazing. It's this total 3-in-1. It's a concealer, sunscreen, and it just really brightens the eye. It also has skincare ingredients. That's why it's called the 3-in-1. If you're interested, just let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you enjoyed about this video. It helps me prepare other videos for you, and I hope you all will have a great week.